Ash vs. Evil Dead podcast. We're back. Woo!
I can't wait to rip the show a new asshole.
Should have a chainsaw up there.
Yeah.
So we got 2 episodes this week. I got a little busy shooting Jesus Bro, and I was just not in the mood to be editing because I was tired, so we fell behind a little bit. So we're going to be doing 2 episodes. It was, let me double check the titles on here. Confinement and Trapped Inside, which is really kind of the same thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
A little lazy with these titles here.
Yeah, I did think Confinement was one of the best episodes the show's done.
They got some creepy shit in there. The
Yeah.
skinless people running around? That was some Hellraiser shit.
Yeah, and Strife as Ball.
Yeah, what is that actor's name? Strife. He was
I'll just
Strife
call him
on
Strife.
on Hercules and Xena. He was Strife.
Let's go!
Let's go! We saw his name before too, and I completely forgot.
Yeah, I can't.
Joel Tobeck.
Joel Tobeck.
Yeah, he's a good actor, which you wouldn't really know from playing Strife because it is a hammy performance.
Yes, well,
But-
Strife, I guess, is supposed to be kind of that. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he's
well, that's-
really good in this.
I mean, that's the tone of those shows, but he's completely different here, and he's done more serious roles too. So it's
Well, he's one of
interesting
the-
seeing him playing a villain, but straight. Mostly, there's some humor to it, but.
Mhm.
Like actually scary versus Strife is
Yeah.
just like, oh, Aries, I'm gonna kiss
Yeah.
your butt. Ugh.
I'm your doofy sidekick.
I'm your nephew, but maybe I want to fuck you. Which is kind of, it fits for Greek mythology, but
Yeah.
let's kill him.
Let's fuck 'em.
Yeah, so I guess they're going with Baal is the pronunciation of the name. It's Baal, which I was never really sure on. I've heard it pronounced other ways, and I think maybe it's sort of pronounced a bunch of different ways, but they just keep saying Baal, so
Yeah.
I guess that's what that is.
Balls.
Balls.
Ball, though, he like has that super fingernail. She just rips people's skin off with and then wears it.
Yeah, which it doesn't make a lot of sense physics-wise, but I guess the demons can do
He's
whatever
a
the
demon.
fuck they want
Yeah.
in this show. Yeah, there was some creepy shit going on with that, though.
Yeah, no, I really liked that whole episode because I felt like that one balanced stuff the best too. Like it had an overall serious story going on. People seemed to be taking things seriously when they should, and, making jokes at the right time, I thought.
Yeah, that one was definitely better balanced. Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm finding that's bothering me about the show is trying to find that balance, like we were talking about. But when they get overly jokey, sometimes there's that lack of sincerity there, where it just seems
Yeah.
like they're just trying to get a laugh, and that takes me out of it because I feel like it would hit better if there was more.
Yeah,
sincerity
there's a
to
few
it.
times they need to take something a little more seriously than they do.
Yeah, and
This episode, I felt like they were for the most part.
he seems suitably scary for like the big
Yeah.
bad, and
Oh yeah,
I
he's
feel
really
like,
good. But all the other characters I thought were taking it fairly serious in that one too.
I feel like they did a better job with that one than the one after it, and I'll talk about it more when we get to the second one. But
Yeah.
this was a good example of finding a good balance and not always trying to go for the crass joke. Yeah,
Yeah, or just any joke.
any joke, but like especially
I mean,
just
it works like when he's relieving the tension, but if you don't let the tension build, then it's not happening.
Yeah, because they had, which is not a terribly new plot, like people are trapped, but one of them could be a demon, and they're all turning against each other, but the way that they
Yeah.
do it is good, And they build up this tenseness, so when you get to lines like, oh, the Mexican over there, no, he's Pablo the Mexican, well, you're Chet the white guy, well, that's kind of racist, Pablo.
Yeah, Chet the stupid white guy.
Stupid white guy.
That was
That's kind of racist. It makes it funnier, and it doesn't feel like it's constantly like, I'm just an idiot. It's like, well, we got to remember that Ash is a competent character when when it comes to like fighting demons. In his personal life, major failure, but you do have to show some competence there for him to survive that long.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are sometimes
always be a doofy idiot.
Yeah, and there are sometimes when it feels like Ruby is a more competent character than him. You know, like
she is.
Well, she is a more competent character, but he is supposed to be the hero of the series, and you know, you need to have some moments where it feels like he's a bit more
really
competent.
Just Xena in a TARDIS.
She just it was a good example of that in this episode when she gets the gun and she's like, whatever, not taking any shit, and then the sheriff tries to take it and she's like, nope, shoots him in the leg.
That is a thing that's always bothered me in things. And it's like, you know, when someone has a gun on someone and they keep trying something and they just keep going, no, don't do anything, and then they never retaliate. You know, the fact he tried something, so she shoots him in the knee, is like, that's the perfect response. That's the response I think it always warrants if someone keeps trying something. It's like, shoot them in the knee. That's not going to kill them or anything, but, you know, they can't try it again.
Well, it's pretty restrained for Ruby, too. You know, like, if she didn't need their help, she'd probably just kill him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess. She seems like she's changed a bit this season.
It could be because she's mortal now, so maybe there's some of that humanity coming in.
Maybe
especially since that, you know, her, like, feeling sorry for her children and stuff like that. You know, that could be part of her becoming more human.
Right.
They had, it was a good showcase for her this episode, too, because it felt like the character was clicking more as, like, a consistent kind of thing, because they had more stuff featuring her.
Yeah, I finally felt like I'm knowing who Ruby is this season in this episode.
Yeah, that scene with her and the lady cop who was Ball in disguise when he's revealing about her being mortal now and her actually looking afraid. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, and the whole thing. And, yeah, Strife's really good in that scene.
Yeah.
Immediately forgot his real name again. What was it?
Joel Toback.
Joel Toback.
Yeah.
No, that whole scene.
Could be Strife
really
or what was it? Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings.
Wormtongue. That was
No, that was what's his face? Brad Dourif. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel Toback was in Lord of the Rings, though. He wasn't Wormtongue.
Was he?
Yeah. I was thinking because he looks like him in this.
He does a little, yeah.
Yeah. Well, pretty much you can think of any New Zealand actor, and they were in Lord of the Rings, except for Lucy Lawless, I guess. But most of them, because, like, you know, there's just such a small pool.
I guess because Lucy Lawless isn't usually in New Zealand these days.
Yeah, since she's usually working out of L.A. with her husband. But yeah, that's why, you know, like Carl Urban was in there and a bunch of others who, you know, there's such a small pool of actors in New Zealand. I guess they all sort of went to the biggest project there.
Yeah.
But I guess we're going off track. We didn't notice until this one that the old girlfriend of Ash was named Linda too.
Yeah,
so he just keeps dating women named Linda.
Yeah, it's kind of like a joke I did a long time ago about like him taking Linda 1, 2, and 3 to the cabin.
Well, no.
Like, why does he keep taking women named Linda to the cabin?
Now this raises questions. Like, it's like, wait, so now is it supposed to be different Lindas?
Yeah, did he really do that a couple times?
Just keeps dating Linda.
I think it's just kind of a joke about the fact they redid that over and over, which I approve of, but yeah.
I think also, and I could be reading too much into this, I think when they were coming up with season 2, because I don't think they really had a plan yet, they were kind of seeing what worked and what didn't, they were listening to what people were saying about Amanda, um, in that her character never really got a chance to really develop, and then they killed her off. But it was also problematic in that she was a black character that was brought in as his girlfriend and killed to make him feel bad, basically. So it felt like shelving a minority character and not doing a very good job with that. And this was something they did in the comics too. They gave him a black girlfriend and then killed her off. And I think maybe there was something in casting a black woman again and trying to do a better job with that. I could be wrong, because, I mean, the show is good about having a diverse cast. You know, you got Pablo and Kelly, and they're not just getting killed, and they're developed characters. But I feel like it's good that they're kind of developing a better black character in this that's not just going to be shelved. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we don't know.
hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they could do it.
That'll lead to something we'll talk about in the next episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things on that episode is just there's the part when the Linda gets put in jail and Ash has to get her out after they fight the skinless cop lady, because Ball also I guess, I don't know, just makes her body possessed somehow and it attacks them, which is pretty creepy too, just a skinless person going after them.
So he probably good. Summoned a demon or something, like a deadite.
Yeah, to inhabit her. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I guess he could do whatever he wants, because really, all rules are out the window with the demons in the show. Anything could happen. It's it's demon stuff.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be more powerful, so.
Mm-hmm. No, he's going to be a good villain, I think, just from that episode anyway. I really like that. But just he gets Linda out of the jail and then accidentally pulls her into the side of the cage.
That was funny.
Yeah, especially because it was a perfectly timed joke. You didn't see it coming, and they had a serious moment before, the whole scene was pretty serious until that part, so that's why it hit so well. It's just because the whole scene wasn't being jokey.
Yeah.
So, just thought they were going to leave the room, and then bonk.
Well, she's a nice foil for Ash, too, because she plays it straight, but there's still funny lines about it. Like when he's talking about making out with her in the back of her mom's car, and he keeps getting them wrong, and she's just like, I could just...
Yeah.
I do like, too, I don't remember which one this was in, but one of them, when they find out that he killed someone as a demon, or that was a deadite, and she's like, oh, so it's you, and she's scared that he's killed people. But then he starts talking about, some good memories, and she starts smiling as if she's okay with him murdering people, if he's being sweet. I don't know. They hadn't really explained the deadite thing yet to her, but she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird that when they're bringing that up, they didn't just say, well, she's possessed by a demon.
Yeah, he really could have just said that, but I don't know. It's one of those kind of iffy writing things where they don't just say the explanation that would fit at that time. Because it's not a bunch of weird shit hasn't happened at this point. I could understand if this was the real world and people don't believe in demons, you might not want to go straight to they were possessed theory. But I don't know, at that point you could probably say it and it'd be a little easier than well, yeah, I killed her. What are you gonna do?
Dude, also like the balls getting in the head of the sheriff guy.
Yeah. It's nice that it's a villain that doesn't go jokey for the most part and just wants to fuck with people. Because a lot of the Deadites are just they're going to spit off one-liners or, just hey, and go over the top, but he's sort of playing it cool.
Yeah, no. He's got a good look in his regular form.
Yes, creepy.
Yeah, so paranoia was the main thing, 'cause they realize Ball's in someone, but they don't know who, so they spend a lot of the episode accusing each other and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's where they can kind of confront some of the things that's going on, the tension between Ash and the sheriff, and that he wants his girl. And I also liked that Linda's daughter, I don't remember her name now, but they went a little more into her defending Pablo,
Yeah.
Not much, but it feels like that's kind of leading to something, so Pablo kind of has something else going on.
Yeah, it seems like it.
That Pablo was kind of her hero.
Yeah.
So he can go from the person who was idolizing Ash to being the hero himself.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes full circle. I got more to say about the second one.
Yeah, because there's more to complain about.
There's more to complain about. Yeah. I didn't hate it, but I really feel like things were done. Should have been done differently.
Could have been better.
It could have been better. Yeah. It was sort of like a disappointing payoff to certain things that they were leading to.
Yeah.
So they're holed up in the house, in Ash's house. Pablo is being overtaken by the book, so that's what Ruby and Kelly are dealing with him.
Yeah, Necronomicon's coming out through him. I guess it's because they had that link around the end of the first season that's happening.
Yeah, because it was on his face.
Yeah.
So there's that
Which
going on.
Ruby did to him, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She is to blame.
I like that. I guess something's more was supposed to have happened when she did that than she was bargaining for, maybe, because she doesn't seem to, be familiar with this happening. So.
Yeah, it might just be just weird shit that hadn't happened before, so who knows what it's gonna do.
I guess she just thought she was throwing the book on his face for a laugh.
I guess she didn't.
This would happen.
Yeah, I guess she didn't care what was gonna happen. I don't know. Or the writers are just making it up as they go along, whatever. So they got all that going on. Meanwhile, the sheriff is with the townsfolk, and he's been riled up by Ball to go get Ash, and so they have a mob, and Ball's there as that lady, and that was pretty creepy with her speaking with Ball's voice and kind of puppeteering him around.
Yeah, because Ball took over one of the protesters, is yelling at the sheriff to go get Ash.
The whole skin thing was reminding me of that Men in Black cockroach alien.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I don't remember any lines, so that's my whole impression. It was reminding me of that, but it was a little creepier. And I don't know what they did for the effect of it, if it was actual latex or if they did just CGI, but it was really smooth because I couldn't tell how they did the skin effect there.
Mm-hmm.
Ash meets up with his sister. They brought Cheryl back. Which
it's the same actress, right?
Yeah, it was Ellen Sandweiss, I think is her name. Yes,
it was neat to see her back.
It was neat, and it was good that she was there, but I feel like it was a little disappointing in some aspects.
No, I totally agree with you on that.
Because when they were kind of foreshadowing this earlier in the season, when Ash comes into his house and he sees the Cheryl sign on her door, you can tell he's feeling guilty about it, which is more than the movies offered us. So there was something there. It's this is his sister that he killed. There's got to be some remorse there.
Yeah. And you never got any payoff about why the father still had all that stuff up, too, since they've killed him off.
I thought, because I knew Ellen Sandweiss was coming back, I thought maybe he was trying to tell him something about Cheryl. Maybe she didn't die and he was, hiding her or something, and she was, pretending to be normal Cheryl, but she was really evil, or... I thought it would be something like that, so I guess it's something else. Because that didn't seem to be what happened here. But
no, because she, the evil comes in through the window and smashes up her photo. Then you see blood run down from the eyes and the mouth, which was a nice effect. That
was a great image.
Yeah, I liked that part a lot, and that's when just Cheryl somehow reforms from the blood from the photo.
Yeah. I felt like any of the remorse they were kind of leading up to was not really paid off here. Because then they went back into jokey, and it just felt like not a good payoff, which was the same thing with the dad. They build it up, and then the payoff is not great.
I was hoping, Ash would have a harder time with fighting his sister than he did.
Yeah, because it is funny, he chops her head off, and she's like, "Oh, not again!" And you can have stuff like that.
She had a really good line, which was Might make it like a tree and fuck off.
No,
Or
she said I'm
fuck
gonna
me.
make like a tree and fuck you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a tree and fuck.
Some
Yeah, I
good
knew I
old
was fucking that
incest.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, he said something about her getting fucked by a tree too.
Yeah,
The tree rape scene. But while they are funny references, it reminds me a bit of like that was really fucked up and creepy in the movie.
Yeah.
But then like in the show, it's kind of like isn't that kind of funny that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like
I think if you're gonna bring that up, it's a funny way to do it, I guess. But it'd be if the whole, interaction wasn't that way. That would have been a funny line.
yeah. It seemed like it was sort of starting when it wasn't sure if she was evil or if she was back and didn't know she was possessed or something. When she was just acting like she was normal Cheryl, and then like Ash is kind of uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seemed like there was some sincerity there, and then she was just like, "Oh, now I remember I'm evil," and then she goes into just one-liners and shit.
Yeah, and then he just goes into jokey mode. I gotta kill a deadite.
And I wish it wasn't so fast with the movement or the editing. Like I wish that they'd stopped some moments with her evil and not just like she's gonna like be jumping around and hee and I'm doing all these faces. Like I wish it was just like a little bit of creepiness kind of put into that.
I wish there was something more about her coming back. Like
It just felt like a fan service thing more than a character thing.
yeah, like I thought there was going to be more, especially when he shot her out of the house, and then she looked normal again, and she had Ted Raimi's heart in her hand, and she threw it away, looking repulsed.
Yeah,
so
like,
was
she actually sentient of herself at that time?
Yeah, like what was going on with that? It seemed like real Cheryl was fighting for control or something. Like I thought that was going to be the idea, and that there would be some conflict there, that Cheryl was still somehow in there, and they're going to have to do something more than just kill her. But then then dead.
Well, I wouldn't have minded if they realized that she was normal when the Deadite wasn't taking her over, and that they depossessed her somehow and then made her a fixture so that Ash would have a character where there was a more personal connection, and also that we're familiar with from the movies, so that
yeah.
That's
kind of what I was hoping with when I saw the flipping back one more time.
Yeah, like it feels like there's these promises that they don't. It feels like we're putting more thought into it than they are, which is a little bit of a shame.
Yeah, and they, like I mentioned briefly there, but yeah, she kills off Ted Raimi's character. And yeah, I could tell you were pissed when that happened. I was too. It was just kind of like, they really need to stop being so cheap with their death in the show, because they're killing people, and just like, I don't feel like we got to know his character that great, and then you killed him off already.
See, I thought they were building up. This is again us putting more thought into it than them, I think, because I thought when he started talking about like Desert Storm and stuff like that, it'd be like, okay, so past the funny drunk thing, they're going to put this character to some use.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. It was just a cheap gag. And
yeah. I was hoping they're going to sober him up at some point, and then he'd be a little more serious, and like not totally serious character, but a little more.
Yeah. And it would have been nice, because they set him up as Ash's childhood friend, to have a character that was important to him, that he could interact with, not just Pablo or Kelly, and they're kind of doing their own things right now anyway.
Yeah.
But they were setting some stuff up with him in this one too that felt like it was going to go somewhere. And maybe they did that because it would be more shocking when he was killed, I don't know. But they set up that he and Cheryl used to be together, and I guess Ash didn't want that. They didn't do a great job establishing that, but I guess they were trying to say that would be his betrayal if he was dating his sister or something.
Yeah.
When he first was in the room, I wasn't sure what he was doing. I thought he
was jerking off.
Yeah, was he jerking off over her clothes? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
also,
that's a little a bit much.
Yeah, and also, was he wearing her clothes?
I think.
Was that her sweater that he had
I
on?
think so, yeah.
Like, what the fuck was happening?
I don't know.
It's, yeah, it was too much. Going into, like, him jerking off or whatever, because, like, again, they just go too crass with stuff all the time. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to always be crass
Yeah.
about it.
No, yeah, it was like that.
You already have
was,
people chopping off their heads and junk, you know? Like,
Yeah, that was silly, and then they killed him off. It was just like, it felt like a big waste of time.
it felt meaningless. It didn't feel like you were sad for anyone. You were just mad at the show for, like, why'd you waste our time?
Yeah, like, why'd you waste Ted Raimi with this?
Like,
It's like we wanted to see more Buddy stuff, and you kind of shit it up.
yeah, and like, why? Maybe they just didn't have Ted Raimi for very long. You know, he's got stuff going on in the States. I don't know, but it feels like just not a good use of the character.
No, it's disappointing.
Especially if, you know, Ash was saying that he was the only friend of his that stuck by him after everyone thought he was a crazy murderer.
Yeah.
It feels like that should have been more meaningful than it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need to remember they have to take some bits seriously. Like,
Yeah,
this
because the
mo-
movies did.
this- yeah, the movies did. It's just like the show thinks it should be jokey way more than the movies ever did. Maybe it's because they did that reboot and that was mostly serious, right? And they're like, oh, that didn't do as well. People must want the jokey jokes.
Well,
Like,
again, it's a balance. You're just going in
I
the
know.
opposite direction.
uh-huh.
And like, it feels sometimes
Even
too,
Army of Darkness isn't as jokey as the show is at times.
Yeah, the Army of Darkness is like an adventure thing, like a swashbuckling kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's more of that, and it's more jokey than even two. But
But they
it's
they
like,
still have serious moments.
yeah, but it's less than the show is sometimes.
Oh yeah. It seems like Ash sometimes is so blasé about it that you lose a little bit of the fear factor of things. And they had some stuff that seemed like it was a little bit spooky in this, and mostly because they were callbacks to the first movie, because Cheryl was there. You know, they had like the hands punching through the wall and stuff like that. But they did have like the walls bleeding and things that were like referential but not directly what happened in the previous movies, so that worked a little nicer. Like the blood coming from the nail and then it starts dripping down the wall. Like that was a slow, creepy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that, like, I love the image of Cheryl's picture bleeding. I wish they kind of just held on that shot and had it bleeding rather than, like, pan out and have the pool of blood. And I realize it was because it was leading to the outfit, but I feel like just, like, a still frame of it and then maybe, like, the blood kind of seeping onto the thing in a different shot or something instead of, like, sweeping out of it. So I feel like it's just a little creepier as a static thing, but that's just me being picky. I like what they're leading to with Linda, because it feels like they're being a little more organic with him and Ash, or her and Ash getting together.
As long as she doesn't die like the next episode.
Yeah, again, they've disappointed us before in this very episode, so...
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just getting sick of them killing people off because I don't know, they're being really cheap with death.
Because they need a body count.
Yeah, so let's kill everyone basically, except Ash, Pablo, and Kelly.
Do you think... Again, this could be me just thinking, like, too much about it, but, do you think it's because they've been trying to compete with The Walking Dead this whole time?
Ugh.
They're like, there's so many shows that just, like, nobody's safe, and they make jabs about The Walking Dead all the time, like, we're just as cool as them, which is dumb anyway, because, like, just do your own thing. It's not even the same thing.
Yeah.
But do you think it's like that? They're like, well, a lot of shows just kill everyone off, and we need a body count, so...
Well, then they just need to be depressing all the time if they're going to try to be Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's opposite of what this show's doing most of the time.
Yeah. I think that's probably just me overthinking it, but it does feel really cheap.
We just cut this shit out. It's getting annoying now. Well, not getting it is. It's very fucking annoying since they did it with Ted Raimi.
Well, because they've done like 2 in a row, technically 3 since he killed Cheryl again, where there was no real payoff to it.
Yeah, we had a double in this one. 2 characters we wanted to see something more from, and then they're just, nah, what if there's not much payoff and they die?
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's like, oh, well, that's shit.
Was there any major death on this show that has had a satisfying payoff? Like when they killed Amanda, was anything satisfying about that?
Just Ash's reaction, I guess, because it made him a little serious. Like,
Yeah, but he still made like a necrophiliac joke about like
yeah,
wanting to have
he
sex
did,
with her
didn't
body
he?
and stuff. Yeah, it felt like it's like you were almost there and then you weren't.
Yeah.
Almost, and then you missed it.
Yeah, I mean, hers, no, that was really annoying because it felt like we were finally getting somewhere with that character, and then she died. Though it was really weird where it was going, I guess. But
Maybe that's why the stuff with Lucy Lawless last episode was so satisfying, because her character is more straight, so they didn't just go to like, haha, sex joke, I don't care about anything, drunk, drugs, whatever. Like, there was like some fear there, and there was some story development, and then it was just a straight scene about what was going on. And Joel Tobeck had some sort of humorous lines in there, but it wasn't meant to just be like, we gotta get everyone laughing. It was just supposed to be like, he's a character that's fucking with him, and he is not scared, you know?
yeah, he's menacing even when he's being kind of jokey.
Yeah.
Because it's like a joke where you feel like this guy's joking with me, but he's probably gonna slice my skin off. Like,
Yeah, and like having things that are serious but have jokey things to it, but still having the characters be afraid or be angry or any other thing other than just like, whatever, I don't care. It'd be true to the movies, you know, like there were funny things that happened, but it was not a funny time for Ash's character, or for the other characters, other than the Deadites, I guess. And then when you have things where like Ash just says something completely moronic or like really just uncaring, it's funnier if it's spread out, because when it's constant, it's just like, what an idiot. This is just annoying.
yeah, that's why I really liked the one in the police station, because it was balanced way better, and when the jokes came, they came at the right time and were funnier for it.
They built up the tension really well.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. That is disappointing second. It's like, oh, this one's really good. Next one, major disappointments.
It's just that bit of sincerity I really want. That's I think the main thing about the show that's bothering me, is the lack of sincerity for a lot of things that really need it.
Yeah, we need to do more like that one, because the police station one really worked well.
Yeah.
If that was kind of the norm, it'd be in a really good show.
Yeah, like, because the horror stuff was really creepy, so it wasn't just like, oh, we want the characters to be more serious and like have some moments. It's also like, you can have some creepy stuff in here and just be creepy. It is a horror show.
Everything worked in that one, because they did well with building the tension up, making things scary, and then they hit you with a joke at the right time, and then built it back up.
So, the episode after this, and if anyone doesn't want any spoilers, you can turn this off now. It's very light spoilers.
Okay, I'm turning it off.
I don't know if it'll bother anyone, but the plot of the next one is an asylum episode. I think it's going to be one of those things like, ooh, is it reality or was it in your head all along? So, with Ball doing that, it might be something creepy, where he's like fucking with Ash's head or something. So here's hoping that they have something good in store for that.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. That's in 2 days.
2 days.
Don't have to wait that long. Alright, well, see you guys.
Balls.
Balls.